There we go. Okay. The lie was too long. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for everybody to call me. There we go. All right. It was. I was.
Okay.
I was live. I've been talking for hours. I've been talking
Okay.
since 11
Yes.
p.m. It's 3 o'clock over here. So my bad about that. But anyway, I still remember what I was talking about. I feel like
Yes.
Lil Wayne messed it up when he tried to get into like rock or whatever. I don't feel like it. I feel like it was genuine, but it was not. I mean, Lil Wayne's a Libra, so they kind of dabble into a lot of things, but they don't
Yeah.
really like dedicate themselves. So
Right.
Lil Wayne experimented, messed
Yeah.
it up for Kid Cudi because Kid Cudi dropped that album after that, and that's all I kept reading. People compare it to, and it was just
Really?
like,
What, Wizard?
yeah, it just they just kept comparing like, oh, but Lil
That's
Wayne
funny.
did this, and I'm just like, what? Like, I didn't understand it, right?
Right. With
Um,
Rebirth, when Wheezy dropped Rebirth, it was tight. Like, Wheezy can do rock. He's a rock star, right?
right,
But like you can tell Cuddy grew up listening to rock music.
right, like he
And
embodied it,
yeah, I was introduced to Cuddy in 2009 by a special soulmate of mine, actually. And she was just talking about him. She was like, Kid Cudi, Kid Cudi, you need to listen to him. You need to listen to him. I'm like,
bags,
yeah, whatever. And we were just chilling in the dorm room at the time, and this song came on. And the song was uh Mr. Solo Dolo, number one, the
that's my
first one.
shit.
And like I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yo, the
I
beat, the
yeah,
sounds,
yeah,
it's out of body. It
yeah,
reminds me of your music. Like,
crazy.
it's
Like from that
crazy.
point on, I was captured. I was like, yo, I feel like this is me. You know what I mean? Like he's
Right.
speaking to like my soul. And from that
Yes.
point on, like I was always Kid Cudi's one of my favorite artists of all time.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Everything he do, even the bad stuff, I just love him.
Hmm.
And I don't want to go on a tangent. I don't even want to talk about his current state of mind. But I love his music, and there's nothing anybody can do or he can do now that can change what is done for me, man. He got me through some dark places, and like you said, like I feel that. And what's interesting is Kid Cudi is. I don't know if him and Serge got the same birthday, but he's on that cusp.
Yeah, they're the week of genius, both of them.
Right. So
XXX.
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
that depressed emo, like
yeah,
that's my vibe all the way. Like I'm emo, like and I just really I could feel how he felt.
right.
And I've never been connected to an artist like that. And I love music. I love music. I love hip hop. I grew up listening to a lot of different things, but like I've never connected with an artist like Kid Cudi. And then like years later, I'm in a different transition in my life. I'm a successful person. Everything I do is successful, but to attain what I want, I feel like your music was introduced to get me to that level. You know what I mean? Just the things that you put in your music and the way how I process it. And I love things like repetition sometimes and just like one of my favorite bar, I swear to me, I remember me, like it's
Right.
just like, yo, like I don't know. I internalize and
You know,
process things, and I just really like in my memory. That's one of
right.
my favorite songs, like
Powerful.
the way how I process stuff. But let me get to these questions. So
Okay, I
I
appreciate.
am a fan, so you got the questions too. I like to know things about people, and hopefully, the people watching, you'll
Yes,
be provided the content too. So you
yes,
got younger generation, I've got a younger generation that follows me.
yes.
And so they'll get to know you more if they don't already, in other areas. But
I love it.
so why did your parents name you Titus? And did your name have any effect on how people treated you growing up?
Wow, that's a great question. So I'm actually a junior, and my great grandmother, my Gigi, she came up with the name for my father, based off of the disciple in the Bible.
Mm,
Titus was one of the apostles,
mm,
or apostles or disciples, one of them. apostles, which actually is in study of etymology, apostles actually refers to posts, which is an ancient word used for the zodiac signs.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. So Titus, but the nurse spelled it wrong, and she just kept the name. She liked it and kept the name. And
Oh wow.
yeah, I took on my pop's name as a junior.
That's pretty dope, man. And it's just interesting and just to connect with somebody like my name is unique. That's my real name
Awesome.
with the E.
Yes.
And my mom tells me that my name was supposed to be Danielle.
Wow.
But she had a dream. An angel came to her in a dream and told her to name me Unique with the E.
Wow.
So there's other Uniques in the South. Generally, they're men named Unique, which is kind of weird. I always meet the Uniques with the U's, but you know, I just like people like that name. And I didn't even realize that Enoch's name, Enoch's name is in the Bible, and my brother's name is Isaiah. Like all like black people love their names, but those names are powerful, man. And I just feel like, you know, when somebody has a certain name, you know,
Yes.
it's just empowered. Like you've already empowered that person.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And then like getting into numbers, like I was saying in the previous live, I'm getting into numbers this year. And like I was telling Candace, like my nickname is Seven. Y'all don't know that. You know what I mean? That's my name in the street, Seven. So yeah, because I have seven numbers in my letters in my name, and just
Right.
I correlate with that number. Like you're what? You got five?
5. Yeah.
Five is about change,
Right.
constant change. You're a Sagittarius. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you're a mutable sign. Like it's just, you know, when you tapped in and intuitive, like everything you see the meaning in that, you know. So it's just interesting, you know, people's names and how many letters they got in them and stuff. So I just thought it was pretty cool. So thanks for sharing that. So please tell me, what was your childhood like?
My childhood was pretty good. I had a great upbringing, I would say. I was raised by my grandmother, my father's mother, and my father. And I had my uncles and aunts around who were my 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 dad's uncles and aunts.
Mm.
The first of 9 kids from different mothers and fathers.
Mm.
All of them, but not all my siblings are connected to each other.
Makes sense.
I moved around a lot throughout New Jersey. I was raised all throughout New Jersey, North, Central, and South New Jersey. And I moved around maybe like 30 times before I even graduated high school. So I always knew how to adapt to new environments and just kind of relate to new forms of people at an early age. And I never really had the impression that uh, there was like like I was like struggling, right? Like my parents, my grandmother, my father never like showed, you know. So,
Mm.
so not even that I paid attention to things like that. I was always just preoccupied with like whatever sport I was playing or like whatever games I was playing or being outside. Just honestly, just experiencing life as a kid.
It's
Uh,
beautiful.
Up until about 14, 15, 16 is when things started to change for me perspective wise, and I started to look at my surroundings and the world around me as more like an adult.
Mm.
Um, but up until then, my childhood was tight. Like my family, my father's side of my family, where we owned a trucking company called T4 Trucking, and we were one of the first transportation companies in northern New Jersey, black owned.
Mm.
Warehouse and like
Uh,
my peoples were really good in business.
mm.
My mom's side, I can't say too much about my mom's side. I don't know too much about my mom's side,
Mm.
but I'm learning as I grow older and we reconnect as adults and you know friends. And now, you know, I went through a super interesting time in my adolescence up until now. Whatever you call that, the hero's journey, going in that circle, stepping out, and then like,
The fool's journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of that time alone and being in resentment and trying to understand myself and why things were the way that they were. But up until before that point, my childhood was I can't complain about my childhood. I can't say it was bad. We, as families, we all experience things. We all
Right.
dysfunctionality. We've all experienced, I would say, most people that I know in families have experienced challenges, dysfunctionality, separations, sadness, happiness, like all of those vibes. But none of that really affected me until I got like 15, 16. I looked back at certain things and I was angry at that, or I understood things in that moment and I was, you know, angry at that, you know, and that's what caused me to leave. And around there, like 16, 17 is when I started to venture out into New York and pretty much just do my own thing. But up until then, childhood was tight. Can't complain. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Unfortunately for me,
Yeah.
my childhood, I did a lot of the moving around. I can definitely relate to that. I'm the oldest too. I'm the oldest of four. I got two younger brothers and a sister.
Yeah.
So that responsibility, and my mom was a single mom. I was the only one that had a different dad. I didn't meet my dad till later on in life, and he's never really, I know him, but he's never really like provided for me. And I still go through them issues to this day. And I do know him, you know, but you know, those are issues that I'm working through. Younger, I was very reserved. I
Yeah.
was very reserved. I've been through some things that I don't really feel comfortable, you know, talking about, but I didn't have a good childhood. And you know, being abused at a young age, it does something to you, you know, it makes you reserved and guarded and not confident. And a lot of the things, the shadow work that I'm trying to work on today. Um, and let me see what else would I like to share. Grew up in two different environments. Like you said, moving around, you're able to adapt, you know, and connect with people, you know, pick up with people. I can talk to anybody, street, hood, corporate. I've learned how to utilize the skills I learned in the suburban world and utilize the skills I learned in the streets, and I apply it to corporate. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. The streets and corporate is the same thing. People don't realize that. I know you know for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm learning that on the financial, you know, Fortune 500 aspect where I'm at and the field that I work in. But it's the same thing, man. People are cutthroat. And
Right.
if you don't have the information and the tools, you're not going to be able to move forward. You know, connecting with people, understanding people, seeing how people move,
Right.
aligning with the right people,
Right.
you know, to me, it's the same thing. So let me move
It's
forward. So what was your grades like?
my grades in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my grades have always been great. Um, my grades always been honor roll. School was super easy for me, but my problem has always been listening to authority.
Mm.
That's what always got me in trouble at home. That's what always got me in trouble in school. That's what always got me in trouble in life. Is like not respecting authority figures,
Mm.
because I already had my own preconceived notions on where I was going since a child, pretty much. Like,
Right.
my childhood was cool. My adolescence was extremely rough, and it shouldn't have been that way, but it was.
Mm.
So throughout school, school was easy. Math, history, social science. I didn't really like science, but it was like easy. I graduated with like 3.0, something like that, but I didn't really care to go to college, but I did apply for colleges. The one I wanted to go to, I didn't get accepted into because I didn't have extracurricular activities. So I opted out to go somewhere else because most people in my family never even went to college.
Right.
So, you know, I went there for a year and I was like, I don't need to do this. I
Mm.
already know what I'm doing. Thought I knew that what I was doing. And, you know, I left from there. But school was pretty smooth. It was pretty easy for me. Like a lot of my teachers, they all told me the same shit. Like, you know, you have an amazing potential. I hope you don't waste it. You're a super sharp kid. You always ask me interesting questions that makes me think.
Mm.
And that's I've always heard those things throughout school. I just never followed the fundamentals of anything. I was never into the fundamentals of anything. Like, oh, this is how you behave.
Structure, period. That's that Sag is mutable. That's a part of the mutable signs. Immutable means change, like the change of the season. Things
Right.
are starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was saying, Cardinal, you know, Capricorn, Libra, we're the leaders. We begin the seasons. Aries, you know what I mean? Springtime. So like
Right.
that's interesting. Like, and what's funny is, like I said, like I really wasn't exposed to a lot of Sagittarius energy until I was like into your energy. Like I had somebody come work for me, a woman,
Wow.
and the way how she moved, it reminded me of like how you operated. And I'm just like, okay, you know, because I don't deal with a lot of Sag, so I'm like, okay, I'm seeing how the Sagittarius move, and it's just amazing. Like y'all are outside of the matrix, but like y'all in it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's just, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just like it's like wherever, like it's just an amazing energy, and it's just amazing to see that energy in other people.
Yeah.
And you know, the things that she's seeing in me, and I'm like, you don't even know me, you know, and you know, but I just thought that was pretty cool. So as far as
Could
my
imagine.
grades, so in the suburbs, I really didn't do very well. I mean, my mom was a single mom; she had 4 kids, so she really couldn't. I was like, I helped her with the kids. I raised kids before I had kids. I was cooking and cleaning, changing diapers when I was 5. People don't believe that. I was cooking at 5, like how I was the old school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was responsible for a lot of things, and she didn't really have the time to invest in me. The
Yeah.
older I got, I'm not upset about it. I was when I was little, but as an adult, I understand. So I'm not
Yeah.
concerned about that. But she did put more time into my brothers and sisters, which I'm grateful for. But so in the suburb in Cape Cod, I was like a C student out there in the suburbs. Man, I moved to Philly.
Yeah.
I got to Philly in the 10th grade,
Yeah.
straight A student.
Nice.
Yeah, but why? Why am I a C student in the suburbs and then I get to North Philly and I'm a straight A student?
You
Because the curriculum,
Yeah. Yeah.
the curriculum,
Yeah.
inner city, the curriculum is horrible. And I'm not saying like I did better, but it was complete like brand new books where I was at. You know, here you get and you might not have a book. You might not even be able to get it through the class because the kids are fighting. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it just was. And I went to William Penn. William Penn was a really good school. I'm brought a master, a high school, but I noticed off the bat that the curriculum was not at its best. But I took advantage of that, and I became interested in school. I did my work before everybody. Everybody's joking around playing. I'm joking around playing too, but I didn't do all my work. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like y'all not doing nothing. So then I went to community college because I didn't have the grades. I missed school a lot. Just some stuff going on. I don't know. But so I went to community college and I had to take prerequisite or remedial courses,
Got you.
English and math, because, you know, generally speaking, Black kids, when they graduate, especially in an inner city school, you graduate in 12th grade, you really have like a 10th grade education. And it may be as low as 8th grade, depending on what inner city you go to. You know what I mean? The rougher the environment,
Yeah.
chances are if you graduated, it's going to be very low. You know what I mean? So I've always been an educated person and a smart kid, but I didn't have that home.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have those parents that actually poured into me. And my teachers
Yeah.
noticed that, like my Spanish teacher, I studied French. My
Yeah.
chemistry teacher, they noticed these things. And the one time I got my mom, she actually came out to the school because she could never come out to events.
Right.
Um, she told my mom, you know, your daughter's sharp. She needs somebody to help stay on her. This C could be an A.
Right.
You know? And so I took remedial in college,
Yeah.
and I've had a 4.0 average every
Nice.
degree. And I'm in my doctorates, and I'm maintaining a 4.0 in my doctorate's degree.
Yeah. That's how you guys operate, though. You know, my sister is January 8th.
That's the
Like,
day before my mom. My mom's the 9th.
I just celebrated her birthday in Vegas. She's the first in our family that's gonna have her PhD in 3.5 years. You know,
That's
like
amazing.
when y'all focus on something, Capricorns, y'all are the master builders for one, and y'all are very disciplined. Once you find the focus and what it is that you want, you lock in on that. You know,
Right.
patient is very important to y'all. Y'all are very, very, very like apt into that, and I learn a lot from that. You know, I learn a lot from that sternness.
Mm. A lot of people don't like it, and it's like it's either like a hate me or love me type thing, because you know people misconstrue me. Like, I'm just focused on certain things. I don't want to operate like that. The way to how I move in public, the way how I do things, and like I respect how you move. I respect how certain people move. I respect your focus because my level of focus is so high. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the people I look up to, their level of focus, their thought process, it's at an elevated level. And I know, you know what I mean? Like your level, your skill set, you know, your thought process, it amazes me. I'm amazed at Kanye's thought process, Kid Cudi thought
Right.
process. Like, I
Right.
love the thought process, you know what I mean? And like, you know, my energy or whatever picks up on that. But like, it's just amazing, you know, people's thought process and skill level. But yeah, it's just like a love or hate kind of thing. People either love me or they hate me.
And that
That's the cat thing. They either love us or hate us.
it's gonna be like that, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're divisive. You have a divisive personality, which is good, honestly, because it just filters out who fucks with you and who doesn't.
Facts.
You don't
That's all I do is filter.
want people around you that don't really fuck with you, but are
Right.
around you. You know, like that's the worst, 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 worst thing. So it's like, let me know straight up, like from the
Facts.
rip, like, be honest with me. You know, so that's I like that a lot. You know, and that's something that I have to be careful about because my energy attracts so many different kinds of people, and
Right.
got to be aware of like who's actually on my side and like who's,
Right.
you know, like from the rip, you're like, yo, I'm this. You know what I mean? It's either like you're here or you're over
I support
there.
anybody, and it's not just you, like anybody, you know, anybody that has done anything to change my life and help elevate my already elevated thought process. Like you gotta be great as hell. You damn right I'm a support, you know what I mean? Like, and pay it forward. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just that type of person, and it's not a lot of people that are genuine in this day and age and are real. And
Right.
sometimes that stuff can like scare people too. It's pretty funny, but yeah, yeah. But I'm kind of on the cusp of Sag because I'm 26, and
Yeah.
Sag ends at like what? Because
20, 20.
Phoenix's mom is the 19th,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I love that, like Jay-Z. You know what I mean? This is I'm gonna lay everything out. This is the blueprint. This is what it is like, and how you move and what you do, that's what speaks. Like, I have a hard time. That's what I'm trying to learn now more in business, is bigging myself up, because I rather everybody else tell me. Like, I'm not one to, you know, like how Kanye's so boisterous. Like, I'm learning now, like you gotta have that energy, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
people can speak for you, but you gotta do both. And I'm more of the everybody else, I would like for you to say what I do. And I'm learning to do that for myself. And that's where you come into play.
Yeah.
And that Cuddy's music comes into play. It helps give me that voice to see how valuable I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just how I'm able to change lives and a guide. And that's just, I'm so grateful for it.
And your voice carries, you know, you have a very like projecting voice. So it's like once you fully step into utilizing that, like when you talk, people listen, right?
Right.
So especially as a generator, like for me, it doesn't work that way. Like, people will listen because I've been invited into this space.
The invitation thing with the projector.
Yeah,
Y'all have to be invited into spaces, right? Instead of just like giving. I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
If we start talking, we either won't be heard or it'll be like misinterpreted in the wrong way and rub people the wrong way. So we don't have that energy, that motor center in the throat. You
Mm,
have that, right? Plus, you have a very strong personality in your beliefs and your disciplines.
mm.
You utilize that gift. It's just gonna be tremendous for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into music?
How did I get into music? I've always been interested in music since music has always been around me, right? I used to when we were staying in Irvington, New Jersey, North New Jersey, there was this family underneath our floor, and they used to play rap all the time. My pops played the shit all the time too, but when they was out at work, I would just hear the shit blasting from underneath the floor, and I would put my ear to the hardwood floor, like, yo, what is that they listen to, right?
Wow.
Fell in love with the energy dynamics of like music more consciously at
Mm.
like 10 and on. I was like, yo, I want to do what this dude is doing. The first tape I ever bought, I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. I bought DJ Clue the Professional Part
That's
2
that shit. That's
and
that shit.
Jay-Z Hard Knock Life Volume 2. I used to walk to school in elementary school listening to Reasonable Doubt and my Sony
Oh
Walkman.
shit.
Like that, hell. But 4 or 5 years later, we were in the suburbs, central New Jersey. We had moved out of Irvington. I was like 12, 13. I was like, oh, okay, shit, people could leave their bikes on the lawn. Fucking, they got their toys outside. I
Wow.
don't know, fucking crazy ass shit at night. This is cool. Go
Right.
school, all these different diverse people. Like, I love it. So about a year and a half into that, I had picked up skateboarding pretty heavy. Me
Oh
and my
shit.
Yeah, me and my cousin were heavily into it. And he was coming over the house one day, and he came over with the skateboard, but he came with this CD. Yeah, we were 14. Yeah, we were 14. So this was like 2003, maybe 2002. And he came with this CD, and he was like, yo, before we go outside, like, let me show you some shit. And I was like, word, what's that? He was like, this is called, at the time, it was called Fruity Loops Studio 4. He was like, yo, this is called Fruity Loops. We can make beats with this.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, fuck it. So we went upstairs into the attic, popped it in the computer, and we just started making these. He was already kind of on it, but like, I was just making these trash ass, just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, but I was enamored by it. You know, like I was enamored, and I never stopped. My birthday the same year, I asked for a guitar, got a guitar, played the shit for a few days. My father was like, yo, turn that shit off. I can't do it.
Oh,
I
not the
went back
guitar.
to the beats, and
Damn.
I could put the headphones on and just rock with that. And that evolved into like getting really good at it, and like buying vinyl records after I got out of school, and learning how to sample, and like Jay Dilla, like, who is this person? Like, yay, Just Blaze, like all these people. I started studying, and eventually I was like, okay, these is nice. I can give them to people, but I didn't want to give them to people. So I started like writing to my own beats. And that never stopped, and here we are today. And my cousin who introduced me to music, he actually has the credits as a recording engineer on Donda. He was with Kanye recording the whole
Fuck.
drop.
St. John was there too. I think
Yeah,
St. John helped on that.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So full circle, one thing I say that to say is like, whatever it is that catches you, especially, we tend to gravitate towards things early on in our lives, whether that be childhood or adolescence. My first thing really was painting and drawing. But when music came to me, like that was it, and I stuck with it and didn't stop doing it.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. My love of music, I was a little lost child. I mean, I listened to the mainstream stuff, BET, all of that. Grew up recording, videos, music videos on VHS or whatever. Me and my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bone Thugs and Harmony. DMX when
Yeah.
DMX. Well, no, that was when I moved to Philly. So because I did ninth grade in Massachusetts. So like Bone was out.
Right.
I think Tupac had already. Yeah, Tupac died when I was out there, not in Philly. Right. So like I was just mainstream, that MTV kid. You know what I mean? Moved to Philly, and then I was still mainstream, Big Tigger in the Basement and all that. What's the thing that Free and AJ used to host? My brain is late.
106 Park.
Yes, yeah. So that or whatever, watching stuff like that. And then my older cousin, the one that has the same birthday as Kid Cudi and Serge, wow. He came home from the Navy. And he's just like, why are you listening to this basic ass, like, mainstream commercial music? And I'm like, what's commercial music? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know a difference between commercial and underground. And then my cousin started putting me on, like, Wu-Tang, Rod Digger.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, when I start listening to that, as opposed to, I don't even know who was, like, mainstream out then, but.
Mace, Big, like.
Yeah. Trying to think of another female that was hot right then, and he was like kind of laughing at me for it.
Lil Kim, Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
Rod Digger was going off crazy.
Yeah, Rod Digger was going crazy, but she really wasn't as mainstream as the other one. And then like whoever she's married to or whatever, the Grave Diggers or the Outsiders, they from Jersey. It's the Outsiders or the Grave? It's something.
The Outlaws.
It's something like that. I can't even remember right now. It's so late.
Our Grave Diggers were RZA and Prince Stetsasonic. Yeah. Outlaws who were with Pac, they are from Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just started getting in tune with like underground music and knowing the difference between mainstream and underground. Right. And then rapping and then being a lyricist.
Right.
Then I fell in love with Nas, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Those are artists that I hold near and dear, and I put their stuff out like American Gangster.
Yeah.
I love that album.
That's a great record.
Jay-Z, I love it. I love the whole thing. He's got Jules, Reasonable Doubt, of course.
Yeah.
And some other stuff that he got. He's got some good stuff, but like
all this shit. I love it.
Right. So it was just interesting. But my cousin saved my life. Thank goodness for them Aquariuses. The Aquarius brain is an amazing thing. So he kind of saved me from being one of them people that was gonna get caught up in the Matrix.
That's awesome. Shout out to your cousin.
So Raheem, what's up? I know he's gonna be watching this at some point. So why did you move from the East Coast to the West Coast?
I always wanted to be on the West Coast since me and one of my brothers, rest his soul, we were kids. Since we was kids, just growing up skating and shit, and like just seeing the magazines and the skate videos over there. Like, damn, bro, it's always sunny over there. Damn, y'all get to go outside when y'all in school. Our schools look like fucking jails on the East Coast. We got fucking rails and gates on our shit. It's literally made like a jail. Like seeing it in movies and just on the magazines, and like I felt called to the place. And a lot of the like the people that were doing the music that I loved were over there. Like obviously, like Jay is, like a uncle to me. Like I grew up listening to him. Literally, he's like an older brother, spirit brother, whatever. But around like the end of high school, like my senior year, I went to Best Buy to just buy random music, and I bought Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links.
That's that shit.
Yeah.
1 and 2, but that's that shit. That's oh my God, yes. I love all Wu-Tang. Ghostface is my favorite. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're the best. And I was just searching for random stuff, and I came across this album that the cover, the photograph for the cover was just super interesting. I didn't even know who he was, but it ended up being Madlib Beat Conductor Volume 1 and 2 movie scenes.
Mm.
And I got this tape and I put it in, and I'm like listening to these beats, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like this, I'm like, yo, you can make beats like this? Because at the time it was just like Just Blaze, Swiss,
Mm-hmm.
and Mob Deep, like shit I grew up on, right? But
Right.
now I'm hearing this like artsy West Coast beat, funky type shit, and I'm like, yo, Madlib. Then that brought me to MF Doom, and then that brought me to Dilla, and then that brought me to Flylo, and I'm like, yo, all this shit is different. Where are they at doing this?
Mm.
Oh, they're in California. That's more signification. I just want to go there. I just felt called there, you know.
And
So like 4 years later, the only job that I had, I quit it, took the cash that I had, and I bought a plane ticket to California. I didn't know nobody over there, no one. And I stayed there for like a week in a hostel in Hollywood, and I ended up seeing a Flylo show in downtown LA, and I just fell in love with the place, you know. And it's like I came back, and I'm like, yo, to me it was like a pilgrimage. Like I found a new land, you know, coming from where I grew up, in like the environments I grew up like. Outside of central New Jersey, like North New Jersey is a cold ass place. Irvington, East Orange, that shit is cold. And you know, there's parts of Cali that's LA for real. Like, but I'm
right.
talking context of like what the surroundings and the environment did for my psyche. It expanded my brain in a different way.
Right.
So I came back and I was like, first of all, I need to get the fuck out of Jersey. Let me at least go stay in New York. You know,
Right.
because in New Jersey, I was just getting into trouble.
Right.
Like my energy was just, I was just getting into way too much trouble, and like causing turmoil in both households. So I'm like, how do I need to go somewhere where it's people like me
Right.
that at least that are thinking differently, that want different shit, that's into the art I'm into, like the style I'm into. Like I was fresh in high school, right?
Mm.
Only motherfucker that was fresh like me was the Asian kids. Like that was
Right. Yeah. 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 They
out,
stay fresh.
but niggas didn't understand it. So I'm like, I need to get out of here. You feel me?
Right.
And I stayed in New York, and I started bouncing back from New York to LA for over 10 years. And I have family in both, you know, but California is not necessarily a settling place for me, but definitely one of my homes in the U.S. I definitely was welcomed into the West Coast, and I love it.
That's bold. A lot of people are afraid, and it's probably because you said you moved around a lot, and me as well. Like just kind of up and down the West Coast, from North Carolina to Wilmington to Philly to Massachusetts. But like, I know people in North Philly that ain't never leave off the block.
Never.
Like
Never.
like how do you even like? I can't even imagine like not leaving a certain like that's like you just walk up and down this block, my G.
Yeah, but that's what the people wanted. That's how they wanted. That's how they designed the environments to. These people are masterminds in understanding how the human mind works.
Sorcery at its finest.
You know, it's like, okay, we're going to create this type of environment with this demographic in it. It's only going to have these kind of resources in it, and they're going to be very limited. The schools, the information that the schools are funneling are going to be extremely limited. So therefore, the brain is not expand. It's like a turtle you put in the tank. The turtle's only going to grow as big as.
Yeah.
You feel me? Which is fucking sad, because turtles, one of my favorite animals, they live to be 100+ years old. You know, they're supposed to be in the ocean, flowing freely, expansive. You know, you put them in a tank, they only grow as big as the fucking tank, right? And like that's how this shit is designed. Like even in New York, you know what I mean? I tell my New York family this shit all the time. New Yorkers are scared to leave New York. Yeah. Why? Everything is there. You got everything.
Yeah.
But like just like any other place, it's a vortex, right? It's a drug that you become addicted to mentally. Like your dopamine works specifically with things you're used to. So it's scary to think of outside of that. It's like, damn, I don't know. But as soon as you do it, the moment you step, changes you.
Right. It's that paradigm shift. That's the word that I'm always talking to my audience
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Paradigm shifts, man.
Right.
You have to do things. You have to put forth a certain action, and you have to move through fear.
Right.
Sometimes we're afraid, and sometimes that feeling don't go away. You know what I mean? Y'all see me talk about it all the time. Like, I have anxiety going live, like, but I still move accordingly. And sometimes people tell me, like, I didn't even know you was nervous. Like, fam, I'm just moving through that fear. You have
Right.
to do it. It's inevitable. If you want to grow, if you want to be successful, if you want to
Yeah.
elevate your mind, if you want
Yeah.
mind expansion,
Yes.
you know what I mean? You have to take that first step, that one step.
That's the bravest thing you could do. Is
Yes.
take the step. Fear only exists in the mind. So the heart cannot hold fear.
Right.
Heart is the realest nigga you'll ever meet. It's never gonna lie to you. Never. It's never steer you wrong. Our minds can have a mind of their own. Our minds can harbor fear, which is fear is a constricting factor. It restricts you. It literally like hinders your growth, literally. But there's a power in that, right? Because when we ask ourselves, what am I afraid of? That's one of the most powerful questions you ask yourself. What am I scared of? To the bottom of it. What is keeping me from going from there to there? There's a fear there. So once you get to the bottom of that, that's where the answer resides. The answer to all your questions resides to where your fear is. Power in that, right? It's just taking that first step.
And I also want to add, I've got a lot of knowledge on like foster children and adoption. And so when kids are in foster care or like if they're in a traumatic environment, their medulla oblongata won't grow.
See, that's crazy.
It stops development, and so these kids will be small, they'll be timid, and then like when they get in an environment that flourishes, they start to grow. Like all the processes come back. So like that's how deep fear restricts. You know what I mean? Like that's very interesting.
It is. It's a very interesting concept.
All right, so this is going good, and a lot of the questions that I had, they've been pretty much answered in just the conversation that we're having. So that's pretty great. I'm doing great. You're doing great. Thank you. All right, so you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. What is it all that you do? What can you tell us about what can you tell us about generating multiple streams of income?
Okay, so generating multiple streams of income is absolutely integral in a pathway to freedom from.
You've got a great word choice. I like that, integral. As far as explaining, it's a necessity. Like, you know what I mean? I like that word, integral. I like words.
Me too. It's part us freeing ourselves financially, mentally, emotionally, honestly, because one stream of income can be great. You can make, $300,000 a year with this one stream of income. But then, like, what happens if that stops? Then it's like, what? Where? Now, or what happens if, what if you stop and say, well, damn, I'm doing $300K a year, but I only have 2 hours a day for my family and for myself. Now I'm 50 and I don't want to. And so multiple streams of income is the way that this society is designed. It's one of the only ways for us to free ourselves, right? So as an entrepreneur, I became an entrepreneur. I began to use that title because since the beginning, like I told you, like I always had issues with authority and just having my own way of doing things. So I said, okay, how can I utilize what I love to generate money? How can I monetize what am I passionate about? Is there a way for me to monetize that without stressing myself out about it. Of course there is, because if you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work. Even in your own, even within a day job that you have, what are you passionate about? What skills are you passionate about that you can utilize in that day job that makes it flow more abundantly? So within that, you begin to say, okay, I have this stream of income and I'm good at that. What else can I expand on and be even better at that? And you go along. For example, I started with music. I started saying, okay, I want to make money from music. I want to do this for the rest of my life. So if I want to do this for the rest of my life, I should find a way to monetize that. And this was way before we had like YouTube and like all of this shit we have now. But eventually I began to monetize that in different ways, not just by creating songs, but like producing for people or writing music for film and television, right? And then I said, okay, that's moving how it's moving. What else did I like to do passionately when I was younger? Oh, art, illustration, creating things. Okay, how can I monetize those aspects? What else am I interested in? Oh, investing. What else am I interested in? Oh, designing. Okay, so let me take these messages that I put into my music and put that onto literally pieces of clothing that, you know, literally carry the same message. And it's like not just, you know, because I was totally against just like making clothes.
Right.
It had to like mean something to me for me to like actually do it. So how can I create something in the space of apparel that carries a message, the same music, right? And from there, things actually started to come to me in other ways, other pathways to make money that I didn't think would come to me. People asking for help in a specific way, or maybe asking for advice in a specific way, or saying they like the way that I help this. Can they help me? Can I help them with this project? And that went from one stream of income to 5 streams of income, right? And even if these streams of income are small, there's still seeds that are going to grow into a tree. So my advice to that is to think about what you're passionate about. Think about what you're passionate about, all the things, because it's not just one. Think about what you're passionate about and find creative ways to monetize that, because it's there.
And that's what Moneybags Academy is all about. I teach people, pretty much an entrepreneur too. I used to do hair when I was younger, so that was a way to have money in my pocket. You know, even though people call me weird or knew I was different because I wasn't from that environment, they knew that I had skills. And so all the chicks, I was laying them sewings, all that. I did all that. So
That's
I did that for, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
That's a great business.
It is. Hair is a good business. And if you know how to do hair, you'll never be broke. Every state that I've went to, I can get money. You know what I mean? So and then starting this business, you know, like I said, I started this with some money oil, some tarot cards, and my laptop and my social media platforms. Not knowing anything about business, I generated 11K in my first year, which may not be, you know, a big deal for other people. But if you, I've had income. At one point, my income was $10,000 a year. A year. So, you know, that's just, and then like year to date, I've been doing this part-time. This is not even something that I do full-time. I have a corporate job. I run other things, you know, so I made 50,000 year to date. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good. If I'm just doing this part-time, what if I crank it up?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's see what I can do. So I started creating workshops. I've had people guiding me. Somebody told me, why don't you do celebrity or hip hop readings or something like that? And I was like, all right, well, let me start doing that. So I started doing this thing here, and then, you know, started doing the card readings, and then people wanting me to do candle magic for me, and then people wanting my money oil, and then people wanting my money soap. And then I used to make all types of different type of oils, body butters, all types of stuff. I was very active about 2-3 years ago, and then got into creating digital content, writing ebooks, creating little guides, checklists, work videos. Like video, just digital content period is so easy once you understand. And people think you got to do all this stuff. You just talk about what you know, and if you like it and if you're passionate, like how you say, it's very easy. So Moneybags Academy is teaching you how to generate additional streams of income to add. I don't care if you know, have a regular job and you're an entrepreneur on the side, you only want to be an entrepreneur, you only want to work a 9 to 5, you don't want to own a business, you can still have additional streams of income. Like everything's going up.
Yes.
Everything's going up. What's it called?
Inflation.
Right. Yes. So it's never, you know, gas at one point, remember, it was like $1 a gallon. Like, what is gas now? Thank God I don't know, because, you know, I'm blessed and I don't have to worry about that no more. But I remember when I used to have to worry about putting gas in my tank, you know what I mean? Like filling my car up. So, you know, inflation, and you do get raises in the corporate world, depending on who you work for, what corporation you work for. You know, it depends on how much of a raise you're going to get. Are you going to get a bonus? You know what I mean? I get all those things. I'm just very blessed and I'm very grateful. But everybody don't get that stuff. And an entrepreneur, you know, maybe you don't understand what you're doing right now. And maybe if you tap into something else, you'll find something else and something else will kick off. And that's how it's pretty much been for me. So like, it's important to have additional streams of income. It really is. And, you know, creating the content to do it is not as hard as y'all think. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I actually, you know, I was adverse to doing the content creation part. You know, I had some talks recently with Candace, actually, especially on how simple it actually is and how much that helps to everybody listening. Like literally your phone that you carry with you in your hand most of the day, you know, is a major key in creating avenues for you to a financially free space, to creating avenues for you, new avenues that you never thought existed, for connecting with people you never knew existed. It's such a powerful tool if you just utilize it the right way.
You don't, all you need is a phone and Wi-Fi.
That's it.
Literally. To make money. And look, and it's been this way for a while, because I got into this, 2016, 2017? And all them things are getting a little bit more complicated with, you know, algorithms and things like that. Like, man, if you just are open-minded and you get the right knowledge, you're looking for the right knowledge, and you have a phone and you have Wi-Fi, you don't even, people will pay to just listen to people talk if that's your passion and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, just understand, like, I literally made money without like cards. Like, I just go sit here and, okay, you know, I rock with it, and it's awesome. Like, it's just awesome to just make money, like you said, for things that you like to do. I love to help people. My degree is literally going to be in human services. Like, I'm dedicated to just uplifting people and leveling people up. Like, that's what I do, you know, organizing things, processes, procedures. So, you know, it's just amazing to be able to do it on all aspects. I do it at work and I do it in my job.
That's a powerful, you know, that's once again utilizing your voice. You know, when you fully embrace that to where you feel you're fully embracing it, the outcomes are going to be monumental.
And I believe that. And at one point in my life, I didn't. You know, I've had a lot of people just help me and guide me because of my energy, and I'm so grateful for it. And I had she was a business consultant. She was a developer, like, and she just took a liking to me, and she started guiding me. She was telling me, like, my prices was way low, like level up. And she told me I was gonna make a tarot deck, and I looked at her like she was crazy. I couldn't even process or even think, like, my anxiety, my insecurities, my self-esteem, low confidence. Like, I just, like, she don't even rock with me no more. Like, I hope if you see this, like,
right,
you know, but like, she was disappointed. You know, you can't push people to do things, and I just was not ready. It was not my time. It wasn't my time. But yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Multiple streams of income and believing in yourself is monumental in achieving it.
All right, so let me see. I'm trying to ask the questions that are most.
I think we're at.
Because I'm kind of skipping around. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cause I want to start talking about the even though I love hearing about everything about you.
Yeah, let's talk about the NFT stuff.
Yeah. So I guess I'll do like a two-part question or stuff to kind of segue into it.
Okay.
So music. How did you get into uploading the music? And then what made you, think to kind of put the two together? You had a drop, all right, December the 17th. And if you buy it, you get other like exclusive demo music, y'all. So go ahead and cop that, okay? Please go ahead and tap in um
Okay.
and
Speaking on
get that. So like why did you do that?
okay, so you're speaking on that specific drop.
Yeah.
So that drop is the intent behind that is to get people informed and introduced into the non-fungible token space.
Right.
Right? So I made it available. I made 5 demo songs available on a separate website to where you can just purchase a digital copy if you want. And I've also made those available as affordable NFTs. Now,
Mm.
I've written out an explanation on exactly what it is and like what you would be bidding on or purchasing and owning. But I will take more time to go into depth into like the actual value that we will be creating as a community.
And
So it's
what is it? Like I hear it and I get it. Like I see, okay, it's a picture and it's money associated with it. But like,
yeah,
do you know like the origin of who start? Like what
yeah,
information do you have
yeah.
on that?
So an NFT stands for non-fungible token,
Mm,
meaning fungible means to replicate.
mm,
It's a token that cannot be replicated, bootleg, duplicated. So it exists within the blockchain space, which is how we trade and exchange cryptocurrency,
mm,
right? Each cryptocurrency address contains a unique address that relates specifically to that owner of the address. The
mm,
same thing goes with a token. So I'll give you an example. We have this lighter here, right?
mm-hmm.
So I want to say this lighter is like a digital item. It's not actually a physical thing. It's a digital. I take a picture of this lighter,
Okay.
right? And I upload that onto NFT marketplace, right?
Mm,
So automatically there's a contact address. It's kind of like a phone number or an extremely long website number,
mm,
specifically represents the digital picture that I took of this lighter, right?
mm,
That address can be found and searched anywhere on the internet. That specific address. It cannot be replicated or duplicated. I am the original minter of that address. I am the
mm,
original owner. So if someone else takes a picture of that lighter and then re-uploads it, it's gonna have a different address.
mm,
That's the original address that was authenticated by me originally, right? So I put it up. I say, okay, I made this. I took a picture of this lighter. I want to sell it on OpenSea for $10, right? OpenSea is like the Facebook of digital art and NFTs. Okay, it's like the entry level space. I want to sell it for $10, which is like 0.0005 Ethereum. Somebody buys it for $10. I'm the original mentor, but now they are the second owner of this picture of this lighter. They own it now,
mm,
right? So they hold on to it for a year and a half. During that interval of a year and a half, let's say I put out more art in the physical world and like shit sells for like hundreds of thousands of dollars and I become a famous artist. And that person that originally bought that screenshot of the lighter from me for $10, people are now searching for my art in the digital space. And they
mm,
see that I've only ever created this one picture of this lighter, and this person A owns it,
mm,
right? So this person A starts getting hella offers for a picture of this lighter, because now people that collected my art in the real world, they want to collect my digital art as well. An offer comes in for 1 Ethereum, which is 3,000. This person says no. Offer comes in for 1.5 Ethereum, which is 4,500. He says no. Another person offers 2 Ethereum, which is 6K. He says, all right, I'll transfer this address to you for 2 Ethereum. 2 Ethereum gets transferred to owner A, the second owner. They get transferred to Ethereum, and then owner A transfers the token address to new owner, owner B, right? So you understand? So the value is created by the demand in the art, which is created by the community. Anybody can create anything, but what gives it value is the demand behind it, the community behind it. So you can feel free to ask me any question.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, so okay, the original owner, are they getting any money?
They can if they write it in the contact address that every sale after theirs they get.
Okay.
You can write it like that. So this is like a new way for, because artists, visual artists, they never have publishing like what musicians have. Right. Now they have the opportunity to have publishing. So the artist owner A sells it for 2 Ethereum, which is $6,000, and then the original mentor, me, I had it in to where 15% of that of each sale forever goes to me. So 15% of that of 6,000 is $900, right? So $900 goes to me.
You just did that in your head.
Yeah.
You're so smart and sick, then.
So the idea behind this was I created multiple tokens of this unreleased music in the form of digital records spinning, but it's actually playing the song for a super low amount because I want to give my core people the opportunity to own it.
Right.
And you can purchase that. You can purchase these tokens right now, right? You can hold one, hold it. A year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. It'll be worth tons of money in the future. Or never hold it. So I'm basically creating value within our community. Outside of banks, outside of a middleman, outside of going to this person, literally within our community. It's just, I have to go more in depth in explaining how the NFTs work. It's a digital form of art that goes up in value depending on how much energy and value we put behind whatever the art is.
So, I think I seen something like last year where Dame Dash and Jay-Z were fighting over the NFT, or there was a situation with that.
Yes. So Dame tried to sell the original master of NFT of Reasonable Doubt as an NFT.
Biggs own that.
Don't
Biggs own that?
Yeah. So Biggs is, I think so. Biggs is the owner of the masters. Maybe they share it.
For Reasonable Doubt, because Jay-Z's mad because that's his favorite album and he can't get it because Biggs owns it.
Right. So I think Dame owns it because if Biggs and Jay and Biggs are cool.
Check that.
That
Nori interview that Biggs did. He did a couple, and for what I think he said he owned it. I think he said he owned Reasonable Doubt, the master. Okay,
cool. So Biggs owns it, and I was presuming what Dame tried to do was he has the original recordings.
Right.
He doesn't own the original recordings, but he has them and uploaded them into a digital space as an NFT that he minted himself and put it up on an auction. Right. So whoever would have, say it would have went through, somebody would have bought it for 100 Ethereum, 3 million, right? They wouldn't own the masters. They would just own the file. Okay. So you're not like the people who put up their music as NFTs, they still own the masters of their song. It's just the people who bought the NFT own the file. They own the actual audio.
Right.
But they don't have the master rights. Those have to be signed over. Right. So they own the file. It's almost like a digital version. Think of it like Reasonable Doubt being put on a canvas and hung on a wall. A
Right.
version of that. And that
Mm-hmm.
person technically just owns the contact address of that. They say, I'm the owner of this file. It's just a cool flex, low key. And it's a way to also create value with yourself, because other people are going to want that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely interested for my money sigil. I definitely want to. And, you know, I had a question about esotericism. I really don't want to go there, but my money sigil is backed by something called a servitor. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's a spiritual entity behind it that I kind of made. Well, I released it because servitors, like, they can do your bidding. They're like little Dobbies, you know, Harry Potter, Dobby or whatever. So they're like spiritual. And some people are mean to servitors. They treat them mean. Anything that I create respect. So it's a servitor. And then he developed into an egregore, which is like a higher form of entity, which corporations are like egregores. They're entities that are living and kind of breathing and thinking. That's why in the business world, they say that corporations are people. Like, people
Mm-hmm.
really don't understand that. On the
Yeah.
source, I'm talking on the sorcery backside of things.
Yeah.
So an egregore is an entity or something that people have invested ideas, thoughts, and things into, but it operates on its own.
Yeah.
All right, so I made an agreement with the money sigil to release it as a servitor, and now I'm in partnership with this servitor that's now an egregore. So for me, the NFT, now if I was to do that, this entity can expand, you know, and people invest in them, and it's a money attraction sigil. So I'm only trying to think, like, how far could that grow and how far could this entity go if I was to put it into an NFT and then tell people, you know, I don't
Well,
know, just thinking about some things here, but this is
you,
very interesting, and just the spiritual side of it too.
right. Do you have, is there an illustration of it?
Yeah, let me see I've actually got it tattooed on me, but let me,
Yeah.
what do I have? Let me get the jar.
No doubt.
I'm okay. I hear stuff knocking over. So this is my community jar spell. I do money work for the community. You can also do spell work, but this is a jar and this is the symbol. Now a sigil is, it could be anything. It could be a sentence, it can be an affirmation, whatever it is. But what you do is you take away like the vowels, and whatever's left, the letters that are left, you create art. You
Right.
create a piece of art with it. This one is like a Rosicrucian sigil. There are some that are very, like, you have to use a table, but like, I freelance sigils too.
Gotcha.
So it's an intention statement, and you
Gotcha.
change it to be a piece of art, because what happens is with our subconscious mind, you know, that's why advertising and all of that, that's why we have all of that. It talks to our subconscious mind because they put things in our minds and in the form of picture.
Right.
Pictures are powerful. What you put in your environment is what's going to feed your subconscious.
Right.
Right. And so that's what sigils are for. And I was saying earlier, like corporations, like logos, those are sigils.
Mm-hmm.
Those are absolutely sigils, when, you know, and then it embody itself and then have that back. So like I said, the egregore that's attached to the sigil, everything has like some type of energy body, so to
Right.
speak. And the more that you feed it, the more that it grows, right?
Right.
And that's why these corporations are so like powerful. They use advertising, they do everything in their power to make sure that they capture you, because the more you lay eyes on something, the more that you see it. Repetition. We know that
Right.
repetition, when you get into repetition, it embeds in people's brains.
Yeah.
And that's why there's, you know, logos, and that's why there's advertising and promotion and stuff. So yeah, sigil work, you can use it for anything. I got into sigil work. I don't even know how I got into sigil work, to be honest. I just be getting so much stuff, but it's very important. And like, you know, if you're an artist, you
Mm-hmm.
can put intentions in your art and people don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can, you know, a piece of art, it could look like something else and mean something that you don't even know, and it's feeding your subconscious brain
Right.
when you have that picture. You don't even have to look at it. If you just hang it up in a room and it's just in that space where your eyes can peripheral or whatever, it's
Right.
going to continue to hit your subconscious.
Right.
Right. And so I've got a few of them, but the money sigil, like I said, my money oil, my money sigil, that's why it's so powerful, because it's layered. It's different spiritual things layered. It's not just a picture. There's an entity behind it. He
Right.
was a servitor, you know, he's an egregore now, and just continuing to expand, you know, and it's just amazing. Like my reach, I had to learn how to do all of this stuff. Like I don't know anything about business, anything about being in the public. I don't know anything. Like my money oil, my money sigil, um, just has allowed me to just so many opportunities open up. It's just, and for other people too. Like I've literally had people that have made thousands of dollars off of my money work. So I don't know why I'm good at money work. I'm just grateful and I'm blessed. But yeah, so sigils are
Capricorn.
really cool. Sigils are really cool. Like I said, for the artists out there, if you want to put a different twist on your art, if you like, you know, like putting messages, positive messages, because it works negative too. Anything is a tool, and magic is like a gun, right? So you can actually put things, and they do this, like society, advertising. I really feel like when we're watching TV, there's things flashing and all types of stuff that we don't see. But you can make a bad intention statement. You can wish bad and then create a piece of art and give it to somebody. And they hang it up and put it in their house every day and don't even know that it's something destructive that's in that artwork towards them to hurt them. So that's why I'm guarded too with a lot of things, because you don't know. You know, once you tap in and understand how to utilize magic and how society uses magic on us, man, it's some very dark stuff, but very powerful. And a sigil, it's simple magic. It's not even something that's like, you know, a whole big ritual like burning a candle. Those are all things called simple magic. They work on your visual, and it goes back to the cavemen. The cavemen using the fire and like drawing on the walls. Like this stuff is, it's just crazy, like the history behind why we do some of the things that we do in magic. You know,
Right.
this stuff goes all the way back to the cavemen and them writing on the walls and burning the candle with the fire, you know, in whatever space they were in. So yeah, I got a better picture. That's all I got right now. But you know,
Uh,
like I said, this is working. But it's a simple thing,
yeah.
and I have this
You
tattooed.
can illustrate multiple versions of that. You can illustrate multiple versions of that and turn them into editions and put them out
I
as.
actually do sell them on my website. I sell the actual sigil where people can print it. It's two versions of it. The green one is for quick money. It gets you money pretty fast. You know, if you're in a jam, it helps you. And gold is for like wealth and success and abundance, like long-term money. Green is quick. It's fast. Yellow is long-term success and wealth. So I actually do sell them. That's why when the NFT thing and when you brought it up, I just was like, oh my God, like, wow. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Shouts out to sigils.
Yeah, for real. So we pretty much hit most of the questions. One question I didn't ask is like, who's your musical influence right now?
Jimi Hendrix, Radiohead, new stuff that my friends send me, a lot of indie stuff I've been listening to. I'm like super not on rap right now. I was just listening to Nas's joint the other day, going over to the beach. That still slaps. The new one he just put out.
Oh yeah, that new album.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was pretty dope.
yeah, it's fire. Uh, that's pretty much it. I've been diving into like new music, not necessarily new in modern times, but stuff that could have came out in the 60s and 70s, 80s. Just new stuff I've never heard before, just different sounds, synthesizers, acoustic drums, guitars, new music, just expanding my palette. Going back to stuff that I loved in the 2010s, like Caribou, a lot of like electronic stuff, going back to Burial, just going back to elements that shaped me earlier on, as well as like discovering new music. So I'm kind of reshaping my palette because I want to take the sound sonically to a new level. The message will still remain the same, right? Just the sonics, I definitely want to take them to a new level. Cause I mean the beats are there. They change a little bit, but like they need to change again.
Right.
So I've been downloading new forms of music. But right now my immediate influences, definitely been studying some Jimmy, listening to
He's
Radiohead.
the only left-handed guitarist ever.
Crazy. Yeah. Prince, I've been listening to quite a bit too as well. Um New people that are out right now, I'm not really impressed. I don't know. It's not really doing much for me. You know, besides my normal go-tos like my Cutter, Yay, Jay, a little bit of Drake here and there, like those type of vibes. But I've been taking in more intensely like the music that friends have been sending me and like kind of going off into rabbit holes of that. So yeah.
Pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. So we're pretty much gonna wrap it up. I think my one last question I have is, do you have any tips? Give tips for you have any tips for producers or songwriters?
Do I have any tips for producers or songwriters? Yeah, just keep making music every day. Even when you don't feel like doing it, make music. Listen to new forms of music, try different things. You know, at first, like study your favorites. You know, for the longest in the beginning, like a lot of my shit sounded like my beats sounded like Just Blaze's beats at the time. Then a lot of my stuff sounded like Flying Lotus's stuff at the time. I was like super obsessed with like what was going on there. And studying that, I was able to like not master, but just like replicate like that energy to where I learned so many things, and like I'm able to utilize those different elements in like my own like renditions. And like that's honestly that's how art works. It's like study your influences, you know, and then study your influences.
Yes.
Influenced your
Who thought dumb, right?
yeah, and apply that to your art and just make music every day, write songs every day, regardless of how you feel, if you feel it's good or not. A lot of it's not going to be great. You're not going to like some people aren't going to like some of it. So what?
Gotta start from somewhere.
You got to start from somewhere. It's your art. Only, even if you don't like it, only you could have made that. So that's something to appreciate.
Hmm.
Keep creating, you know, and the universe is taking notes of everything that you're creating, all that energy that you're conjuring up.
Build up. It's building up.
Yeah, yeah. So just keep doing it. Keep trying new ways. Keep listening to new forms of music. Keep trying new things. Keep making music. Keep writing songs. For sure.
And they say hard work beat talent when talent don't work. And I say that to say that, in the beginning, it's the consistency thing, and if you're consistent, you're going to elevate because you keep doing the same thing. Then we go with the repetition.
Right.
You're learning. Now you're getting better at it.
Right.
The beat today sounds better than yesterday or whatever. So, songs as well. Like,
Right.
so that's pretty good advice. That really
Yeah.
is.
With anything, you know, like literally with anything. Questlove actually said once, if you repeat something 18 times in a row, you've pretty much engraved it in your subconscious mind and you memorized it, right? So like the human mind is like, we developed computers based off of the human brain, basically, right? Like where our brains are like computers, they can learn anything. So whatever it is that you're doing, like just keep doing it, keep putting hours into it, you will master it.
You will. It's inevitable.
Yeah, yeah,
If you're being consistent,
yeah, yeah.
it's inevitable.
Yes.
That's crazy. Like I'm just really grateful right now. This was an amazing experience.
Love
Like
it.
you're just a very great person, man. I just love
Thank
top tier people that just have a different thought process. They're not afraid to be who they are. They're not afraid to jump out in front of the crowd and say, "All right, we're gonna do this, y'all. Come on." I'm a lead. Like, it's not a lot of people like
Oh,
that. You know, I'm one of those people, and it's hard for me to find people in real time. And like, you're accessible, man. Like, it's just amazing. Like, people better, they better value, y'all better value that Titus is this accessible now, because he's not gonna be this accessible forever. You know what I mean? Like, y'all gotta understand that. So it's just amazing, you know, to just be in your energy field and just to hear how you process. Because again, me, I'm all about processing things and
right.
why does this person do this and how they do it. And I watch you, yo. You're like big bro to me. Like, I watch everything you do. Like with Jay-Z, like Nicki Minaj. Like I just
Right.
I just love your energy, and I just love everything that you represent, and the fact that you just so uplifting, and you know, you just a burning fire. Like, you just don't go out, and you may go here or there. You know, it's like oh my God, House Castle, like the fire.
What's that?
What's the fire's name?
And what?
Candace. Candace, I'm talking about. She put me on that movie, House Castle, and the fire that keeps the castle going. I feel like that's you.
I, I I mean, I could say so many of the same things about you. You know, your discipline for one, your mindset, your strength. You know, the example that you set as a strong couple, a strong mother, you know, a teacher, a guide, and showing people how to create value within themselves and within their surroundings. You know, I very much so learned from that how you put yourself out there to um, market your services and your art and your creations. You know, that also inspires me and makes me say, like, yeah, like, let's get up and do this. Your activeness in the community, you know, I definitely deem you like as one of the leaders within it, 100%.
Mm.
You and Candace, and I may not speak on these things, but I see everything. You know,
Oh, I know for sure. You already know I peep energy.
yeah. And
All the energies. Yeah, I'm just grateful. This is amazing, man. It's almost 4:30 in the morning
yeah,
out here.
yeah, yeah, you get some rest, get some rest.
This was just great. This was really great. Yeah, I'm gonna say, does anybody have any questions? Or anybody have any questions or anything they want to ask me or Titus?
Um,
I haven't even been paying attention to the comments.
nah, I've been cruising. It's been the famine here for sure. We definitely popping in and out.
Yeah, and then now.
Yeah. Nah, this was great. Let's continue to do this. You know, access will get slimmer, but you'll always have access. So don't
Oh,
forget.
I already know that too. I
So
already know that too. Yes, yeah. I just you. I see nothing but the best. I see nothing but success. Like, you know, I just really do. Like I said, I'm just really grateful that I'm able to do all of this.
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna appreciate every moment always that I have. I feel like it's like being with like a mentor or something. This is really cool. I know you say you feel the same way, but I don't know. I just, you know what I
nah,
mean. You're the music person, and your music has changed my life. So like,
I appreciate that.
for sure. So you have a good what morning? It's morning now.
Yeah, the one thing here, I'm wishing you and Phoenix get some great rest, have some lofty dreams, wake up feeling invigorated and powerful, and move through your Sunday with a blessed and satisfying one.
What can they say? Will there be a replay? So for my mailing list, if you are subscribed to my mailing list, you're gonna get this replay, right? And then this is gonna go into two different memberships, because it's talking about different things. Number one, we manifesting here. Anything that he does or anything I do, we about manifesting. So this is gonna go into my Manifest Our Paradigm membership, okay? And
Uh,
that's unlimited access. And then it's gonna go into Moneybags Academy membership, because we're talking about NFTs, cryptocurrency, passive income. We touched on a lot of things here. We
yeah,
touched on a lot of things here.
yes.
So yeah, it's available for the replay for 24 hours on my mailing list. And if you subscribe to a membership, you've got access on my end. I don't know
Go.
what Titus is going to do on his end, but that's where I'm at right here.
If I could leave it up, I'll leave it up on the archives for sure. Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. Well, talk to you later. Have a good
Yeah.
one. Thank you.
Hey, y'all.
All right. Bye bye.